Hi, I'm Dwayne Goins, registered dietitian and owner of Neurotrition, where I offer nutrition and neurofeedback services. In this video, I will be discussing my personal story with Lens Neurofeedback and why I started offering this service to my patients. Before I tell you my story, please check out my full disclaimer in the description box below. This is really about my experience and what brought me to Lens, and I hope you will find some benefit from this. It all started with a family member who struggled with OCD, ADD, anxiety, depression, and sleep issues all throughout their childhood and adolescence. It was so bad that their parents pulled them out of school their first year of high school to try to deal with these problems head on. The parents tried the natural route first: supplements, counseling, behavioral changes, and finally medication, which definitely provided some relief, but it wasn't optimal. The parents didn't want their child forever medicated without any real changes to the root problem. Finally, they heard about Lens Neurofeedback at a health conference. As you might know from my other video, What is Lens Neurofeedback? Lens works by interrupting maladaptive brain patterns through an EEG device, which results in a calmer nervous system and a reduction in anxiety. It's gentle and doesn't require concentration from the participant, so it was perfect for their child, whose ADD would prevent them from other traditional forms of neurofeedback, which require active participation. So the parents learned all they could about Lens and decided to give it a try. What did they have to lose? They soon found they had everything to gain. The results were incredible. After only 1 month of treatment, their child's medications needed to be cut in half, and so many negative symptoms started disappearing one after the other. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. After seeing this incredible transformation at the young age of 21, I was inspired and got my undergraduate degree in psychology with the hopes of practicing Lens Neurofeedback in the future. I got accepted into a master's program for counseling psychology and was excited to begin this journey when I realized in the first month of classes that I just wasn't ready for the program. I was the youngest person in the program, and I saw that I didn't have the life experience to feel competent in this track. I knew I needed to pursue a different route that made more sense for me at the time. I decided to switch tracks to my other passion, which was nutrition, and began the journey to become a dietitian. This journey was personal for me as well, because I had struggled with my own weight in childhood and adolescence, and it was something that I felt would benefit me and my family. Years later, after working with over 4,000 patients in a hospital setting as a weight loss and wellness dietitian, I've seen that nutritional counseling alone will not be enough for most of my patients. They don't seem to have the emotional and mental bandwidth to make sustainable changes in their lives to improve their health and nutrition. I could provide the best advice and best strategies to encourage them, but it wasn't enough. I've encountered patients who have so much suffering in their lives, both physical and emotional, that weight loss and nutrition are just the tip of the iceberg. It's like their glass, which is full of anxiety, is completely full, and there's absolutely no room to add anything more, or their cup will overflow, and whatever functionality they have will be gone. It's survival mode, and when you're just trying to survive, you can barely cope with what you're already doing, let alone try to add in new behaviors and changes. In fact, even though I didn't get my counseling degree, I have certainly put my psychology degree to use. I felt like a counselor at times when I hear my patients' stories and try to help them brainstorm ways to reduce stress and to make lifestyle changes. But many of my patients were seeing me as a dietitian, along with a doctor and a therapist while on medication, and still it was a struggle to make any changes to reach their goals. I'll be honest, it becomes pretty depressing for providers when they can't help their patients. And working in that kind of environment where I was seeing little change affected me and my family negatively as well. I wasn't excited to go to work anymore because I didn't feel like I was really making a difference. I'm talking to people about nutrition and health who have underlying problems that can't be solved by a talking head, which is what I was feeling like. I thought back to what inspired me in the first place in my 20s, and I decided I need to make a change for myself and my future patients. I started my own private practice where I offer both nutrition and Lens Neurofeedback services. I really believe that combining these services will give my patients the best chance to improve their lives with minimal, if any, side effects. But Lens Neurofeedback stands on its own, and I use this treatment on myself and my family members as often as possible because it is the closest thing I've encountered to actual healing in my life on a practical level. Let me share what happened to me after a few lens sessions. Like many people, I lost my smell and taste completely when I contracted a particular virus. And while I regained most of my taste and smell, it didn't fully return. It was only about 60% back, and I couldn't smell or appreciate my food as much as I used to, which was pretty frustrating. And this stayed the same for about 2 years, until lens neurofeedback. The day after my third lens session, I was in the airport when suddenly I caught a whiff of an awful smell. It was someone's BO, and I was shocked by how strong it was. Then on the plane, I asked for some ginger ale, which they provided in a cup. And as I was taking a sip, I tasted and smelled the particular smell of the paper from the cup, combined with the distinct taste of ginger ale, that in the past would have just tasted like sugar. My smell and taste was back, baby. I couldn't believe it, and the rest of the day I was tasting and trying all the food in my fridge and cabinets. This is one of many benefits from lens. You wouldn't believe how many functions are attached to the nervous system, like even smell and taste. It's crazy how the body responds in a completely different way when stress is reduced and your brain has more space for change and flexibility. Lens has been described as draining the swamp, or even like pouring Drano down the sink. It finds the clogs and removes it. Your brain is doing this work automatically based on the input from your own brainwaves. It's a self-referential system because it's not a random electrical signal. It's your brain's electrical signals, which are giving your brain a chance to recognize and correct any issues left over from protective patterns. The fact that it happens automatically and without any effort is such a gift because, like I mentioned before, people are already operating at their max capacity, even if it doesn't seem like it. And what they need is something to relax them and help them cope better with their lives before they can make changes. For me, since I've been receiving lens treatments, I have a lower reactivity in general. I'm less sensitive to bright lights, I'm less obsessive over certain things, and I procrastinate less in general. I wake up in the mornings ready to do the things I need to do, whether that's unclogging the bathtub drain, mowing the lawn, or going to the gym. I feel more motivated to accomplish these tasks. I want other people to experience this, and I'm excited to see how lens continues to impact me, my family, friends, and my patients. Each story will be unique because each person is unique. This is part of my story, and if you have a story about your experience with lens neurofeedback, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Also, please look at my other videos on lens neurofeedback to find out more about this incredible treatment. If you have any questions, you can find my information below, and I've linked where you can find a lens provider near you in the description box. Please subscribe to support my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.